Hi, Professor Monroe again. Welcome back. And in this video, we will discuss Kant's notion of the good will. Every ethical theory owes us some explanation of the nature of moral goodness. That's a sort of fundamental moral concept, and we've got to get that story somewhere. And the other ethical theories that we've talked about to date, or will continue to talk about, will do so. For example, the Greeks talked about eudaimonia, or having a satisfying life. The utilitarians talk about pleasure and happiness. Those are the things that are ultimately morally valuable. So we need a similar answer from Immanuel Kant. According to his deontology, what is moral good consist in? Well, according to Kant, there's only one thing that's good, as he says, without qualification, good in and of itself. He says that's having a good will. Now, to talk about goodwill is not to refer to benevolence, charity, or the milk of human kindness or anything of that sort. The goodwill for Kant means our ability to stand on principle. What does it mean to stand on principle? Well, that refers to our sense of duty or our ability to act out of a sense of obligation. It means to set aside our interests, desires, or unpure motives and to make ourselves act in conformity with morality's commands. It amounts to something like good moral willpower, right? And I think you guys all understand what willpower is all about. There's an inherent connection between willing something and being willing to act, or acting. So think about, maybe an example would be going to the gym. Some people like going to the gym, some people don't like going to the gym. The folks who like going to the gym will go because they enjoy it and it feels good or whatever. But other folks might go to the gym because they think it's important to be healthy. And they don't particularly enjoy it. But they're able to use their willpower in such a way as that it pushes them to do it, even though they don't like it or it doesn't line up with their good feelings or make them happy. They do it out of a sense of obligation, that they must go to the gym in order to be healthy. And that's the sense of goodwill that Kant is referring to. Our will is good just in case we're able to use it to will ourselves to do the right thing, even when we have good reason not to, or other reasons not to. That it's acting on principle that gives us a good will. So this is an interesting difference between Kant's theory and other ethical theories. Most other ethical theories, if not all, define rightness in terms of the good. So for example, with the utilitarians, you have the most straightforward case of this that you could. You have the classical utilitarians saying that happiness or pleasure is that which is morally good, and then the right is defined in terms of that. Right actions are those that promote the good, and wrong actions are the ones that detract from it. Kant defines things in reverse. He defines the good in terms of the right. So what we mean is our obligation to follow principles comes first. And whatever moral good there is, at length, comes from our ability to make ourselves act that way. So for Kant, the right defines the good. Our will is good if and only if we make ourselves act according to what reason dictates. Now this plays an important role in judging actions in Kant's theory. Notice with the utilitarians, it's all about the outcomes. You produce good benefits, and that's what makes your action right or wrong. Kant rejects that idea. He's a non-consequentialist. In fact, you could even say that Kant is an anti-consequentialist, that consequences or outcomes play no role whatsoever in determining the moral quality of an action. Consider the following example. Suppose you have two sports enthusiasts that go to a sporting goods store. Each of them wants a new GPS watch, but neither of them has enough money to afford it. So person A sees the new GPS watch, covets it, and thinks, you know, I could shoplift this, but I probably shouldn't because I'm worried about getting caught. Person B sees the new GPS watch, walks in, looks at the watch, and says, you know, I could probably steal this, but I won't because stealing the watch would be wrong. Notice that the outcome in both cases is the same. The person refrains from doing what we might call the wrong thing. But the motive or the reason for acting is completely different. In person A's case, their motive is entirely self-serving. They're just worried about avoiding punishment. In person B's case, he refrains from stealing the watch on the basis of the moral rule that says we shouldn't steal. That's what Kant means by acting on principle. And that's when we know we have a good will. And that is precisely when we know that we've done the right thing. We know we've done the right thing when we can act contrary to our desires, do the right thing for the sake of the fact that it's the right thing, and for no other reason. Person B exemplifies Kant's idea of the good will and tells us, look, it's our motives that determine whether our actions are right or wrong, rather than the consequences. Notice, again, the consequences are the same, motives completely different, and Kant says it's the motives that count. It's all about why you do it. If you respect the moral law from a sense of goodwill, then you've done the right thing. In the next video, we'll talk about the categorical imperative of universality. It's one thing to talk about willing ourselves to act the right way and understanding our autonomy. It's another thing to know what the rules are. So Kant is going to give us some guidance with respect to what our basic moral commands are, or as he calls them, categorical imperatives. In the next two videos, that's what we'll cover.